Heyo, what's up YouTube? It's been a little bit. I thought I would do a quick video on Bryan offense, because I feel like I occasionally get this question in stream. I'm trying to enforce a week-long Tekken break, but I still got the itch. I still want to play it, just not all the time, but sometimes I want to play it really bad and I want to do it right now. So, you know, fuck it. I'll do a quick little video and hopefully that sates the thirst for a little bit. But I wanted to go over Bryan offense, because I feel like a lot of people believe that because this, whoops, you don't want that, guard that shit, because this and this exist, god damn it, fucking counter hits, and this exists, these are his offensive tools, his main ones, that you need to set everything up with, plus frames, and then from there you go. But really that's not the case, because these two moves, while they're good, this one, Hatchet is a little bit better, but it's also a little bit slower, but it is a little bit better at locking people down, because you can just do this, and it will trade with whatever option they have, as long as it's not something that that like does some kind of weird crushing property, you know? And for the most part, people can't step this either. So that's, generally speaking, this is like the lockdown option. Into this, down forward 1. Hatchet into down forward 1 is usually the lockdown option. This is also something you can do here, but that can get mashed out of. However, having said all of that, the thing that's the problem with these two moves is that it's a very good strategy, and it's a canned response that people can basically just step block after you do this shit. And I should have brought Bryan up here so I can show you with Bryan. But a lot of the time, when you do this, when you do a back one or a hatchet kick, a good player, at least in the beginning, will do something along the lines of that. So look, that does touch. That does not touch. And I don't even really have to step that much. I fucked that up there, though. It does happen sometimes. Okay, give me the other one. There we go. See? I barely even have to step, and I've blocked, and I fucked up his other option, which is like another lockdown option. But not really, because you can step it. So, that's something you can do pretty much. That's something you can do with hatchet kick as well. You can also step this move with hatchet kick. See that? Barely even have to do anything. And then, you know, if you just guess, whoops. It's a little bit easier to do with the down forward 2. Jet upward's a bit harder. If you just guess, or you just respond right away, maybe you don't even have to guess. I'm actually not 100% sure about that. You're launched. You're launched for doing this after doing a hatchet kick. So people are like, and this, after people start realizing this with Bryan, they're like, man, what do I do? What do I do? Well, the answer is, like, these are good, but misunderstood. You know? Hatchet is a little bit better because you get just enough plus frames to actually be able to lock down without being mashed out. But, honestly, the better tools are these tools. And I think people don't really get that. And this is all my opinion. I could be wrong about this. Maybe someone will come out in the comments and be like, man, fuck you, Benjo. What the hell are you talking about? But in general, these tools, even though they're not that plus, create more of a mind game than these tools do, in my opinion. Because after this, you can still do something like this, or step. And what they have to do to stop you from doing that is jab. Right? Like, who the fuck cares? Why do I care if you jab me? Or, like, maybe with a Mishima you get, like, a flash punish, or a flash punch combo. There are characters, obviously, who maybe can make you pay for stepping after doing moves like this. But the situation happens so fast that it's a read on their part. As opposed to this, where everything is slowed down, and their canned response is just that. And then from there, they can go. If you're like, if you have to play around what they do, what you see them doing after you do a move like this. Whereas this, you can kind of just go. You know, you can. It's not exactly a 50-50, but you can, like, the number of people that I get doing something like that is very, very high. There's a lot of people who want to do something after down forward 1 because they know it's very minus. They know this is very minus. But if they're mashing all the time, you can do that. If they're mashing all the time, you can do that. You can do that and then be able to step after down forward 1, 2. There are so many more options off of these two moves than there are off of this and this. And yeah, I mean, like, you know, again, run through them. Could step. Could do a forward 3. Same thing off of these. You could do this. You could backdash. You could step in. You could do this, 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 this. Just to keep the pressure up. Of course, the more you do that, the more risky it is. But there are so many more options after this than there are after back 1 and hatchet. Oh, actually, there is one more thing you can do with hatchet. You can lock down with jab as well. Which I do not believe you can do with back 1. Let me just check to make sure. Yeah, you can't do that with back 1. Yeah, it'll track. It'll track to his strong side. Let me just make sure on hatchet 2. Whoops. Good execution, Benji. Yeah, so it's a lockdown option with hatchet as well. Hatchet is a little bit better as a lockdown tool. You can do a few more things, but in general, this kind of shit is a little bit better. There's more things to make your opponent think about. Where it's I don't know if I want to say it's exactly 100% in your favor, but the conditioning process is more elaborate, I think, as opposed to this, and then they just step block, and then you have to do this anyway. You know, like just get up there, initiate with that, so that you're not telegraphing that you're gonna end up doing this anyway if they're just blocking. Once again, all of this shit, if someone's blocking a lot, and blocking is real strong in Tekken, then at that point, there's gonna have to be some low pokes, a big variety of all this shit, and Bryan's not necessarily great at that. That's why he's like not one of the best characters in Tekken. He's good. He's really well. He's up there at the moment, but it's one of the difficulties with him. One of the difficulties with the character. Of course, he also has, you know. Come on, let me flex. Thank you. He also has that, but anyway, long story short, if you're going to end up having to do this to lock someone down anyway, you might as well just do it at the start, unless you get your damage here. So that's just my 2 cents. These tools, much better for pressuring than these tools. And again, feel free to call me crazy, feel free to call me an idiot in the comments below. I would appreciate it either way. Have a good one.